sure when they say that whether they know that that's what conception is. I think they think conception is dumping.
Yeah,
that's
what they
it's when
think
the
it
sperm
is.
goes into the egg, but they think the moment that the guy's just like,
I'm on. Yeah. Life begins at. Sorry.
life begins with.
I can't.
Welcome
one.
everyone to another episode of Dollar Bin a Dome.
Yeah. So.
Spooky Bullshit Month is over.
Yes.
Back to regularly scheduled programming, and by that we mean shitty action flicks.
We're recording this on Halloween night, the spookiest of nights, and how do we spend it? Watching a Jesus action movie.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good time though.
We have our door open right now to beckon in trick-or-treaters, and they can hear from across the street, Bush did 9/11, like just horrible shit coming from our house. Because there's nothing spookier than a domestic, you know?
It's true.
All units we got to tend to. Domestic. All right.
Yeah, so this week was Kevin's pick because
Yeah, last week was a dud.
Well, part of the reason we just scrapped it completely is that both me and Tom, by the end of it, had horrible diarrhea.
that is true.
kept running to
So
shit.
we were
Yeah.
like, we have like a 30-minute bathroom visit, both of us.
It is very true.
It's going to be a bit. And
and we're-
Kevin's just like, can I go home? We're like, yeah.
I don't want to
you
be
can
here
go
for
home.
this. This is from Rare Flix.
Rare Flix, and I want to say I did just order the entire collection of Rare Flix.
Yes.
So
I can't speak for Sam because he's very sick and very sweaty.
What?
I think we both very much enjoyed this movie.
Yeah.
And
No, I did.
The previews.
the
in the
previews
beginning-
sold me on the entire rest of their collection.
Yeah, so we bought the collection. We'll probably do a spin-off Rare Flix series. That'll be fun.
They, as a company, do not exist anymore.
Yes, we could buy their website.
Which is amazing because we're going to use their logo and name a lot.
Yeah, so this was Transformed. Leo Fong produced movie. Don't know who directed it. Doesn't really matter. Rare Flix found it for us, packaged it all up, and we found it in a dollar bin.
Yep.
This will end up being a odd religious action movie. And
Yeah.
the religion was kind of just shoehorned in, but
It was shotgun
It
blasted
was like
in.
25% religious.
there's only one character that was like spouting all of it.
Right.
So the movie opens up on a weird drug deal that's never mentioned again. And the guys get out with the briefcase. We never see who that man is. Does not matter.
Yeah, he says father. And, he
And
gives him
Cholo
a
beats the
briefcase
shit
and
out
beats
of
the
him.
shit out of him.
And then that's the whole scene.
That's it.
That's it. Then we have the credit scene, which is just someone twirling the camera while looking in the air. And then it
And a
lands
lazy
on,
Susan that they're just gently...
goes in on mega church. And we see right when it gets to there that all these pastors help fund this movie.
Yeah.
There's at least 4 of them. Then it's church scene. We get introduced to Jesus pastor woman.
Yeah, not Rosie Perez.
Not Rosie Perez.
And she's like ad-libbing the Bible.
Yeah, she's talking
She's
about
kind
how
of looking at it, but really she's making up her own shit.
we're talking about how drugs are invading the city, and we keep cutting to this woman and her child.
Yes.
And then we cut back to him flashing back to earlier when he's with the second in command of Cholo's group. And he's like, hey, look how great this guy is. He eats at the best restaurants. He's rich. Don't you want to be rich? And all the kids are like, yeah. And then 2 high five, and it's epic.
Super weird.
Yeah, and all the kids look bored as shit.
Yep.
And then the minute after that scene that they say, oh, he's rich, he eats at all the best restaurants, he proceeds to walk into a Domino's Pizza.
No, it's a Pizza Hut.
I'm so sorry. A Pizza Hut.
Thank you.
The classiest of cheap, shitty $7 pizza.
It wasn't even like the scene from Salvation where they try and pass off KFC as like a real family meal. It's just pizza.
Straight up Pizza
Just the
Hut.
boxes. Like I remember those 90 boxes with the breadsticks. Yeah.
I hate to say it, but I don't think Pizza Hut actually put their hat into the ring as far
gonna
as
say
funding this film.
A lot of the like trademarked logos and locations, they go to fucking Disneyland.
Yeah, that's what I was about
Yeah.
to bring
I
up.
just remembered that.
Yeah, so that's
And I don't
this
know much
scene.
about Disneyland,
Probably don't let you
but
film
I know
there.
they don't like it when you film there.
This is nuts. That's inside Disney.
Yeah. You're not allowed to shoot.
Yeah, they don't do that.
Oh my
my
god,
God.
They
you're
will
not
pull
allowed
out a
to do
switch
any of
blade
this.
and kill you.
It's true. They totally were just like family footage. It's just family footage. No.
He's wearing camera glasses, but his glasses are like this big on his face.
And then there's just this weird scene where we're introduced to the nanny because the son won't go to sleep, and then has this weird photo of the mom that's like faded, and he's like, I miss mom, and then the nanny shows up. He's like, okay, it's time for school, son, even though it's midnight.
Yeah, he passes his kid off to that nanny, and he doesn't see his kid until he's in the hospital.
Yep,
correct.
Yeah, that's true.
So this is when we are introduced more fully to the character of Kevin and his mom. She's like, oh, yeah, good morning, Kevin. Don't you want breakfast I made you? The kid, like, drinks the milk, and he's like, no, late for school, bye. And she's like, oh, but my beautiful breakfast of nothing.
Well, yeah, and the white noise plays up on the camera, and it slowly zooms into a plate that has nothing on it. And then that's when we realize that she's fucking crazy. And he's like, Mom, I gotta go.
Yeah.
And then she stalks her son and is just watching the children on the playground. And I don't want to imagine the director, literally filming through a fence.
There's a lot of shoot the rodeo in this, but some of that rodeo seems kind of inappropriate. Because I don't think he got the permission just filming all those kids talking to Mickey Mouse and shit at Disneyland.
I don't think so either. Then we see the kids snorting milk.
Yeah. And he's snorting milk.
And it's the second in command's like, ha, you like that? And so that's the whole thing where Kevin is now hooked on drugs.
Cholo apparently is in charge of the indoctrinating children branch of this criminal organization, where he's got like a classroom full of kids from the ages of like 5 to
12,
14 or something.
Yeah.
And he's like, you kids like money.
Yeah.
I get the 14-year-olds. You know, they can
buy shit.
have conversations. They know how to count money. Like Kevin, the kid that we're focused on, he and his mom, he's like 6.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Cholo's like, you like money? He's like, I don't really. Mom just gets shit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what money is.
Exactly. I think this is when we do the cut to the pressure point cop instructional video.
Best scene in the movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're introduced to the mayor, and he's telling all the police officers, hey, no go for guns anymore in the city. So we have pressure point cop here. He's going to teach you how to do pressure points. And then we receive a lecture, videotaped lecture by this man.
Yeah.
Explaining all the pressure points and looking like he's actually hurting some people.
People have these areas all over the human body.
So excited for this.
And the pressure points are actually going to be nerves in the human body to you.
Nice figure drawing.
A pressure point
Oh my God.
a nerve does a letter
The
Y
man's so
in the human
stocky.
body.
Yeah.
A
He
pressure
gave
point
up
is where two nerves
waist down.
cross in the human
Fuck it,
body.
legs.
He can try to resist, but I can spin him around.
He's like,
control
that actually
him,
fucking hurt
and
my
throw
neck,
him
dude.
backwards. If I take a hold of his ear and just cock my hand, he will go backwards, and I will have control of him right here. And when I do this, this is what happens. This is what happens. And
Fuck me.
to bring it back, so if I try to bend the wrist, I get nothing. But if I do this and touch,
And this is just to show that this is what the police force is going to be using, because
Or just to establish
No,
this
it's
guy is here.
establishing that guy is like the character.
Because the
Well, we
police don't
see
do
those-
any
yeah.
of that shit.
well, we see a couple of those officers later. They're crooked cops.
Yeah, but they don't.
Right, but he beats the shit out of
Yeah.
him to show that he's a super radical, cool, aging. I don't believe in pressure points, so they ain't real. And then he punches him in the top of the foot, and he falls down and dies.
Hey, old man, what did you do to my friend?
you want a piece of it?
Oh, I want a big piece.
Go for it.
Oh, you want some of this?
Yeah.
So this is when I don't remember the order of stuff. This is when it starts just
we're
going
good.
like lightning fast.
Let's go.
We find out that Pressure Point Cop is actually a secret agent hired by the CIA, and we find that in a restaurant scene.
Yeah.
And then he's like,
Is
well,
that real life?
yeah. And then
remember
he's
that.
like, you need to bring in Hammer. And then we get a call.
Oh, so Hammer actually knows these people. I seriously
Yeah.
thought Hammer was unrelated.
No.
No,
Like,
yeah,
there's
they-
no connection.
They called Hammer because he's the best at what he does, which is nothing.
There's still three
Absolutely
groups.
He's the
nothing.
best at extorting the government for money.
He does do that.
And so Hammer gets called, and he's just like, I'm in Milan, but I'll be there. And then we get to see that they are starting a drug distribution center. It's the mayor who's
Yeah,
doing
he's
it.
in on it, yeah.
And he just tells Acne guy, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, that's also I don't know if it's this scene or later or before. I have no fucking clue. Where it's the mayor with like his assistant, and he's like, hey, go do a thing. And she's like, okay. And she brings up a list. And it's
That's
just
way later.
huge fucking names on the screen.
Yeah,
and she's like, because it's something.
That's way later.
Okay.
And it never explains like
What the
how
list
she
is?
got the list, who gave her the list, why she was the one that received it.
She was just typing it herself.
Yeah, she opened it up.
Do you think Clippy was like, hey, it looks like you're working for a bad guy. Do you want to see the other bad guys? And, okay. Just click on
Clippy wrote it.
Yeah.
He's like, you look like you're visually impaired. I'll make it bigger.
So there's this bullshit scene where there's drug dealers in the same alley as the opening movie, and Acne guy just kills one of them, beats the fat guy up, and then he just shoots the other dude.
For my own self-worth, can we call him Postulio?
Yeah. So Postulio, they're like, why the fuck did you kill this guy by Cholo? He's like, oh, he was selling our turf. He's like, give me a second. I have a mayor coming in. And the mayor's like, hey, why the fuck did Postulio kill this guy? He's like, I know, right?
I know. I'm just in the middle
just
of
yelling
getting
at
really
him.
mad at Postulio.
Really funny fucking scene happens. So we get to see the decline of Kevin, where he's like not eating dinner anymore.
Yes.
And he's like mouthing off to his mom.
Goes into his room to fucking pout and play a
Duplo.
Smith's record.
And the pastor rolls up.
Keep in mind, Kevin is 6 years old. Like, he's like, man, mama, I ain't got time for this. I got like crackers to eat. I don't give a shit about you.
The pastor, who knows where this woman lives, just decides to roll up with her effeminate husband. He's like, honey, wait in the car. I need to go talk to this. And she's like, hey, why haven't you been in church? And she's like, oh my God, Kevin, he's just talking back to me. I don't know what's going on.
So I can't go to church because my son is on hard drugs.
Cut to the next morning. And she's like, Kevin, come on, give up for school, Kevin. Kevin, what you doing, lazy bones? And she goes in, she's like, she starts slapping him.
Kevin, come on, man. School.
And then she's like,
your education.
she starts shaking him.
It's not funny.
Yeah, it's
Kevin.
not funny. And she's acting her heart out. Bless this woman. She sees the pill bottle of baking soda on the
You know how you
counter-
keep your cocaine in an old prescription bottle?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
on his nightstand, and then he's dead. Kevin's just dead.
Yeah.
The mom of Kevin is just walking down the sidewalk without shoes to show that she's like mentally not there anymore. And pastor's husband comes down and is like, hey! And she just walks by him, and he's like, what the fuck? I thought we were friends.
And then she goes to the school, which is not a school. It's like a church. It's just a big wall thing.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be 11 at night, but it's like 1 p.m. or something.
And
It's just a horrible blue filter over all the.
They use it so many times.
they,
It's happy
so
every
good.
time.
And she's like, oh, she's not well. I'm going to go talk to her. And she's like, hey, why are you here? And she's like, well, I'm going to give Kevin his lunch. And she's like,
Martha, Kevin is no more. He's dead.
No!
and we get to see the woman just like crying over a pillow wrapped in blankets.
Oh, that scene.
Yeah.
Goddamn.
Mom's here and stuff. And then she's fine, I guess.
Yeah, the movie got tired of her overacting.
Yeah.
So they moved past that. Oh fuck! They moved. Sorry.
And then we get to find out about the pastor being a karate master. She's doing
Yes.
like yoga in her backyard and flip flops and sandals with a huge cross behind her to get the power of Jesus.
Yeah.
And I really like how she just appears in the
So-
drug recruitment area.
Which is somebody's patio.
Did we skip the scene where she fights Snoop Dogg in the bar?
That's next. That's
Okay.
right after
No,
this.
no. She has to beat up that black
Oh, she has
guy.
to yell at all
Yeah,
the...
she has to yell at the little kid. She's like, does your mom know you're here with this drug dealer? Like, of course not. And then Cholo is like, get her out of here. And he's like, yeah. And she just kicks his ass. And then he's like, come on, get her out. And
We're like halfway into the movie, and we finally start getting fight scenes.
Yes.
Yeah.
She keeps Spartan kicking him around the room.
and then Cholo's like, don't make me fight you. She's like,
get out of here.
and she leaves, but not before kicking the man in the ribs again.
It's one last time, yeah.
And that's when she's like, I'm sick of all the drugs and lawlessness in this town. So they go to the bar.
And her and her effeminate husband beat up some people at. It's not a bar. It's like a pizza joint.
And just doing cocaine openly on the pool table. Beat the shit out of every single person in there.
Yeah.
It's a really good scene.
she got to hit some women.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
knocked them dead into chairs.
Well,
It
it's
was
funny.
cool.
Like dudes run up and get their shit rocked, and then the ladies are like, well, we got this. And then they get their shit rocked. So
we just saw Snoop Dogg get his ass kicked.
Yeah.
And suddenly he's back on
patrolling the
Yeah,
streets.
patrolling the streets. And there's this fat guy selling drugs to this woman, and he calls up Cholo really just inconspicuously, super calm, standard. Hey, there's some people here.
they're on our turf.
They're on our turf. And Cholo's like, wait there. I'll be right there.
And Black Guy confronts him and gets
His ass beat
Yeah.
by like the
They like
two.
whip him against the hood of the car. It's pretty embarrassing.
It's so embarrassing.
And then
There's a fight. There's a chase
Cholo
scene.
loves Snoop Dogg, so he rushes over there and is like, Kia, fuck shit.
Yeah, his Kia fuck shit. And
And
there's
then
a
they
chase.
have a really, really cool car chase.
Better speed up to 35.
Yeah. And they go the speed limit in the coolest chase ever.
Yeah, and there's literally a scene where they cut where they're coming to a yellow light.
Yeah,
you
and then they
see the
cut.
yellow light. Get
Right.
out of the car and start running.
Yeah.
And Cholo's just like, nah. He starts chasing after him. And he's suddenly gone. And they're like, where is he? Bush. He just
Yeah.
pops out of a bush
Yeah.
and beats the shit out of one of them. And then the guy like runs the complete opposite directions. And then Cholo just jumps out from behind the rock. He's like, haha, gotcha, bitch. And then attacks him.
Apparently, those guys are involved with another gang.
Yeah,
I think that's what it was, yeah.
But there's the whole like subplot of the kidnapping of Deborah.
Yes. The secretary.
That's who she
Yeah.
is. Okay.
Yeah, because remember the large font.
Yeah.
Okay, so this explains a lot of the movie. So yes, that scene
Okay.
happens.
Now the
Yeah.
movie makes sense.
It does to me. And then they kidnap her because they found out she called Pastor Ninja.
Right.
She's like, well, I can't talk to my pastor. I'll call him, like, even though she's being kidnapped. That's what she had. She had the file.
Oh, yeah, the floppy disk in her pocket.
Yeah, the floppy disk of the
was
Word document. And then they beat her up.
At some point, there's a fight in a house.
Oh, no,
between-
they string her up.
Pastor goes to the police, and they're like, she's not here. We can't find her.
Oh yeah, very large gentleman and even larger suit, right?
Yes.
No, that's a different cop.
Jesus Christ,
This
this
is
movie.
first cop where
Yeah,
pressure
this is
point
like
guy
actual cop.
overhears it and just calls her and is like, hey, she's at this place. And she's like, who is this? And he's like, once you find out the facts, you shall know. Or some
Which
mysterious
is dumb.
bullshit.
You could just be
Yeah.
like,
Take.
it's me, pressure point man.
So I think there's the interlude to show the crooked cops really quick with pressure point man punch him in the foot.
Yep.
Hey, old man, what did you do to my friend?
You want a piece of it?
Oh, I want a big piece.
Go for it.
Oh, you want some of this?
Yeah.
And then there's the infiltration scene where we finally get...
It should be mentioned that Leo Fong's character is introduced just by music and him walking slowly.
Yes.
The whole movie, he's been just
Toward the
walking
camera
towards the
once,
camera
and
and
then
then
Across.
Cross
cross
camera.
frame. So this is when we actually finally get Leo Fong show up. So they break into the hideout. They save Deborah. There's some fights. That's kind of like it.
That's it. Yeah, they save her.
She just lives with the priest.
Yeah,
now.
they just go to the
They're like having
back door of the...
Shitty paper plate spaghetti dinner.
She gets her daughter and stuff, and then there's another... God, this movie has so many cuts, and we get more
Yeah.
characters introduced somehow.
Somehow.
Weird scene with the fake Russians. Remember?
Oh, yeah,
in the
that
warehouse.
child in a suit.
Yeah, the child in the
Child in the
suit.
blazer.
Yeah. So they walk in and they're like, "Hey, where's the mayor? We want to meet with the mayor." And they're like, "Oh, you're dealing with us." And he's like, "Well, we don't trust you, weird Russian guys." And Leo Fong just rolls up and has a Kodak camera, point and click, and it's just like, and Pressure Point Man is outside with a listening device, so he hears the information too. That there's gonna be a drug drop off deal. Leo Fong just like kind of shows up at one point. And gives her the photos.
And then, because there's a fight in the house somewhere.
The back of the church house?
Yes.
Yeah, no, so this goes to it. So she takes the photos to Two Big Soup Cop
Yes. Very large
Yes.
suit gentleman.
and is like, hey, I have these photos of one of like the mayor's aides working with this super sketchy guy. You need to look into it. He's like, oh, you can't do anything unless you bring us actual drugs.
Yep.
He is crooked
Yes.
and ends up,
Following her to the mega church.
and he's like, guess what? I didn't know this, but preachers tend to hang around churches.
Yeah, he calls up
I know
Cholo.
where she lives now. And she's like, this isn't my house. but yes, I do work here.
Yeah.
And yes, I am
That's good
having
enough for me.
shitty spaghetti dinner with
Yes.
Deborah and her
There you
child.
go.
The break room with the steel table that kills a man.
Yes, actually kills a man too.
God must have sent one of his faithful
Shut the
soldiers
fuck
to
up! Fuck you! Shut the fuck up!
Did, huh?
My favorite line where she goes,
Oh, let's go help your mama. I think she's out cold.
They like go to reach for her and they knock over a glass on her head.
Oh,
They're like,
duh.
oh, sweetie. Oh, I'm so sorry, honey.
But it was one of the Pizza Hut cups, so those things are indestructible, and she used to have a head. So, speaking of used to have a head,
There you go, Kevin. This is the next big important scene.
we got there. I want to say birthday party, but I don't think it is.
No.
I think it's
It's
just
the
a meeting of the
scheduled
minds.
drug deal, as we
Yeah.
find out later from the nanny.
So they're on this guy's shitty patio again, the drug guys.
The fat guy
unrelated
comes-
Chinese man.
And with the fat guy and skinny guy that
Yeah.
got beat up in the park.
Right,
Show up.
come by. They murder Snoop Dogg, and then in the crossfire, Cholo's son, he gets brained. He gets brained. All right.
He gets shot.
Yeah.
In the head. Like,
Yeah.
so
with
this
adults
is
are
where Cholo gets a call. It's like, oh, God.
Oh yeah.
And runs to the hospital.
And his son's fine. He's blinking.
He's
and
blinking
breathing.
and like mouthing words like, I don't want to be here. And the nanny is there and she's like, oh no, it was at his drug deal gone wrong. And she looks at her like slow head turn. It was like, my son's an addict. And she's like, yeah,
It happens.
my 6-year-old son is an addict.
Yeah.
She's like, after 3 days, we'll know if he'll be okay. But everything's fine in his hands.
Was that like a bug on the wall?
Cross on the wall. Jesus will figure it out.
Oh, he's missing though. So he goes to his kid's room.
And he's like, I did
Vastly
not
different
do
movies.
it. I did not
Very
shoot
different
him.
movies.
Yeah.
I did not.
Did not kill that child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I didn't rape that woman in a. Sorry.
Don't touch me, drug addicted child.
Yeah. I didn't rape that woman in a concrete box. I didn't. I did not.
And then he
I
grabs
didn't conceive a child with her and also keep him in there.
he grabs those.
fuck are you talking about?
Room.
Oh.
Yeah.
I got it.
Tommy Wiseau is the guy that's
Yeah. And Room.
porking that lady against her will.
We got
too
there. We
many-
got there.
So this is when he discovers his son's hidden stash in the Disney VHS box.
Because he's like, oh hell yeah, Stuart Little too, and drugs, like
Yeah, and then he goes to church.
just like the Hosier song.
And she's like, hey, you can't kill me. You'll have one witness, God. And he's like, I'm not here for that. My son's about to die. My wife's dead, and I don't want to lose my soul. And she's like, okay, then yeah, sure. Well, I'll forgive you, whatever. We see like a conversation between, I don't know, some of the other members, and they're like, he went to the priest lady. And they're like, oh, fuck, take care of him. So he goes back to the son's room and packs a little suitcase for him. Don't know really why.
He's gonna sneak him out of the. I don't know.
The hospital or something, and then they come and they take a wiffle ball bat to him, beat the shit out of him.
Shit out of him. Yep.
They're like, okay, you have two options because we're nice guys. You gotta kill the priest lady, or we're gonna kill you.
Yep.
And so he shows up at like 3 minutes later, back at yeah,
She's like, "What, did you forget your wallet?" He's like,
Yeah,
no,
but
I've-
it's
I've changed
day
my
for
mind about
night
everything."
again.
Oh yeah.
And in movie logic, she's reading the Bible in pitch blackness because there's no lights on.
That's why she has that pained look on her face.
Yeah.
Oh, forgot to mention, doesn't really matter. Hammer showed up in town.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm in town.
I'm gonna help you instead. I know where they are. She's like, all right, let's go kill some people. And then we're just at the final scene where everyone comes together and they fight ninjas
Yeah.
and random people, and it's all the crew.
Because they finally found out where the drug deal's going down.
Yeah.
It's in a warehouse at the back of a real church. Like,
Yeah.
And I feel like it should be mentioned that all these people show up under their own power, unprovoked by anyone else who showed up.
independently of each other.
Yes.
So
Which-
all of them show up and just start kicking ass. Hammer does nothing.
Yeah, I thought he was like some cool action star. He just walks around like pressure point hands, like
Yeah,
ready
and then
to-
just fights a ninja, but the ninja keeps pulling out more gadgets. It's pretty funny.
How does he defeat the ninja? By the way,
No, off screen.
Yeah, we didn't see it.
They capture the assistant to the mayor after lots of fights. And then he's like, the mayor wasn't involved in this at all. And then Cholo goes, hey, motherfucker, I worked with you. I know he did. And he's like, fuck. And then that's kind of it. Oh, and then Leo Fong ascends. Yeah, that's like how it ends.
Yeah, I mean, it is established that every other character has some kind of reason to be there.
Yeah, he was the one that
But
was like,
Leo Fong shows up, knows everything, is there when they need him, and takes off for no reason
Yeah.
that we can discern.
God
And the
works in
movies-
mysterious ways.
Exactly. The movie tends to imply with this that he is omniscient, and if not the second coming of Christ, some kind of angel.
Deity.
Yeah.
Then we see the sun wake up.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Oh, yeah, he did lose 25% of his brain.
yeah,
that's
right.
Yeah.
Because a bullet went through his skull.
In and out, baby.
Yeah.
And then it's just
good.
the final scene is the church again. And she looks out in the crowd and we see everyone. We see Kevin's mom without Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin's dead.
Pressure point cop. Creepy old man again.
Yeah, Kevin's mom with a noticeable lack of Kevin.
And then Preacher Lady is like facial acting like a motherfucker at everyone.
Yeah.
So we do the slow reveal. And it's Cholo's son
Yeah.
and Cholo. And
We'll
then
call
they,
him Limpy.
with the hat on his head because you don't want to see that.
Cholo and
Stumpo.
Drooly.
Yeah. And then he just like smiles and nods, and apparently he's off scot-free, by the way, because was not
Even
arrested.
though we
or
saw him
anything.
kill a man who called him father at the beginning of the movie.
And he was very much heavily involved in the entire drug trade. In fact, the leader of it until his son got shot.
And then I think the movie ends with not Creed playing. So like Dreed.
a
go from
seagull.
a C to a D. And a seagull. We get freeze frame on a seagull.
And that was the movie.
Damn.
By God, it could not have been better.
That was so much fun.
Well, and also, like, it's the wrong bird.
Oh, yes,
You show a dove,
Someone was like, white bird. I don't remember which
Yeah.
one. That's a white bird.
but no, they show seagull, and and then it attacks a human who has a McDonald's bag full of French fries at the beach.
Yeah, and then Robert Pattinson.
You don't see the camera zoom out, and it's over an amusement park, and goes, "Is that Fabio?" Oh hell yeah!
So that was Transform.
Yes, I feel like a lot of movies are kind of a slog to watch, but are fun to talk about. Like some of
Yeah.
my favorite episodes we've done are movies that we gave checkmark or X's to.
Oh yeah,
This, like, I don't even know if it was that fun to talk about necessarily, other than us talking for 30 minutes about shitting our pants. But this might be the most fun I've had watching a thing. It
was fun.
It's a very specific kind of bad movie. Again, it's the Samurai Cop.
Not
It's-
only that, but we enjoyed it so much, I ordered the rest of the Rare Flix DVD
did.
collection.
Did we talk about it? But there's a whole before the movie played. There's a whole lineup of trailers of other movies.
and usually
We're
skip
getting
that
all of
shit
those.
immediately.
right.
Company killed my sister.
Don't worry about it.
Thank you.
Lem.
Revenge of the Bushido Blade.
So
The guy I bought from mostly sells porn, it looks like.
that actually makes a lot of sense. I bet there's a lot of weird titties in these movies. So Kevin,
Yes.
what do you give the movie?
I mean, is there any question that I would give it anything less than $1? It was so fun.
I was just formalizing it, dude. Don't jump down my neck.
I'm not.
Tom.
I would give this movie $1, and I'm very excited to watch the rest of the Rare Flix collection and rank them.
Yeah, I think I'd give this one $1. It was just perfect.
Yeah.
I was a little worried when I saw the like 90s VHS footage that I was like, no, this might be bad. But it had enough of the old faces. I mean, Leo Fong. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. The only thing that brought it down for me was that fucking woman who played the preacher. I hated her so much.
Yeah, she had a bad face. Yeah. Is this like the best thing we've watched, or the most enjoyable bad movie?
I would
It's
say
not the
this
best
is
movie we've watched.
this is the.
No.
I'd say it's the best bad movie though.
Yes.
Yeah, this is a good like
This is a perfect
This is
time capsule to that era of
benchmark. Yep.
of awful action films, and I'm so excited to see the rest of
Yep.
what Rare Flix found.
Alrighty.
Cool. All right. Have a good rest of your week, guys, and we'll see you later.
See you next Monday.